Aaron, are you recording?
I don't know, am I?
God, I need to know.
I just roll with it.
That's like somebody seeing somebody with a phone in the crowd, like, "Hey, are you taking a picture?" I don't know. Just like private release of information act. But if you say, "I don't know if I'm taking the picture," then you're not liable.
See, there we go.
Any
Yes.
laws? The old "I don't
I don't.
recall" strategy.
We are not lawyers.
Disney can't come after us this way.
Exactly.
Welcome to Dialog Trees, where if you follow our advice, you won't be sued by Nintendo.
And you'll have a PC built out of a freezer.
Early start yet.
We're gonna
Let's not
wrap-
make any promises. It could just be in the mail. Our cease and desist letter.
It's coming. Don't
Nintendo
worry.
is
Yeah.
meant to be Hashtag free melee.
Hashtag free
Um,
melee.
Yeah. If you guys are cool with it, I have some thoughts that I want to get out and shit on our friend Lexi.
Yes, Bruce. For the uninitiated, just a quick intro to Lexi as far as if the context matters to the story.
Oh, I thought you were gonna do some. No, Lexi is my friend who. Lexi is our friend who has been playing Resident Evil 4 and streaming it, and there has been a meme developing in her chat, of
Which one?
Who's the fucking Rockets? Yes, the Rockets meme.
Actually, you know what?
Because she always, every time she opens her attaché case, she looks at the rocket and says, "No, I'm saving this." And there's so many opportunities to use the rocket, but she won't use it. And so now we all like to make fun of her. And I told her,
I'm hopping on her stream
well,
and saying that right now.
yeah,
She's
perfect.
streaming right now.
Yeah, not Resident Evil, but you know what? I'm still gonna say use the rocket.
Use the rocket.
Absolutely. Use the rocket. So
Damn.
I told her I was going to make a topic about this because I think it's kind of ridiculous that all gamers do this. But need to find a better way to deal with resource management because so many things in a game are never seen or used because they're consumable and we're scared of not having it when we need it, so we never use it. RPGs, and by that I mean rocket propelled grenades, any damage boosts in any type of game, like green blossoms in Dark Souls, or the papers in Bloodborne, any of your good food in Breath of the Wild, anything that could help you, anything that could make the difference, you don't use because you'll need it later. And I know we're all guilty of this. We are absolutely all guilty of this. Like, we even think twice about using a health potion. It's like, I'll use the littlest potion I have because like the super potion will be better later.
Yeah.
Never mind.
I already have 4 lesser health potions. I'm just gonna spam them right now while I can.
Yeah. And so I was like, because of that, you miss so much content and fun in a game. Because let's be real, if Just Cause got anything right, it's destruction's fun, and you could make an entire series out of it. And so the thought is, just off the bat, do you guys, have any examples or thoughts of games you like that deal with consumables in a way that you have found, to break the mold of just hoarding them and then never using them, like Smaug? Or like, what games do you think are egregious? Yeah.
Never shall
Or, like,
I
what's
use
the
a
most
single
egregious
one.
game you can think about?
I'll say Pokemon's actually pretty decent. Just because like all the stuff like ups your stats, you can at least buy it, so like it's okay to use that stuff. you're able to get it, and they've made it that like TMs now you can reuse them over and over, so it's not like, oh shit, I don't want to waste this TM on a Pokemon. What if I need it for a different Pokemon? They fixed that, so
I don't think I've ever used a TM.
neither have I, honestly. I'm like, well, what if I need it for later? This is why we're here right now.
Yeah, that's fair. I know that when I was younger and playing lots of like turn-based RPGs, I always had the tendency to hoard all of the items that people were telling me, no, use this on this boss. It makes a piece of cake. Because I'm like, yes, but what about the next boss and the boss after? I vividly remember playing the Third Age and getting to a point where the Third Age is the Lord of the Rings turn-based RPG.
Fantastic game.
Yes.
Is that the one that goes in parallel to the Fellowship?
Yes.
Yes, and I will amend fantastic. I think it's decent. it's got its own issues.
I still love
You
it.
know what it could have used?
Shut the fuck up.
Nemesis system.
It could have used Nemesis system, but it was 10 years too early. Anyway,
Think of how groundbreaking that would have been had it used the Nemesis system.
yes, everything would have been but we can't.
You can say that for any game. Imagine if Grand Theft Auto used the Nemesis system. Imagine how groundbreaking it would have been.
Guys, Warner Brothers has filed a patent for the Nemesis system. We can't use it anymore.
Yes, we can.
We can't talk about it.
They filed the patent in 2015, dude.
Yes, but I only just became aware of it, and I think it's funny. So
We're gonna get cease and desist for like everything that we do,
Yes.
so like I wouldn't worry about it.
Yeah. Anyway, the final act of that game has you fighting a lot of ring wraiths and high armor orcs and trolls, and every battle's just a slog. And there's this one item that completely 100% strips away an enemy's armor, which makes it so that you can just do straight damage to them. And every guide I looked at, everybody that I knew was playing the game was like, use those items all the time in this final stretch. And I'm like, no, because I need them for the next boss.
What if I run out of them and then the next one I don't have it?
Exactly. By the end of the game, I had like 23 of these special armor sapping items, and I went to fight the boss that is the hardest in the game, the Witch King of Angmar. I used maybe 2 of those items, then knocked him out in that round.
Makes sense.
I had a good like, few dozen left over. I think the games that are brutally difficult can enforce you to use whatever you have on your inventory at that time for an advantage. In the turn-based field, I tried Persona 5 recently, Persona 5 Royal, and there's a boss fight that they updated to be much harder than normal. And I was absolutely crashing my head against the wall trying to just brute force my way through. And you need the specific type of damage to overcome it, but you don't have a lot of people that can do it on their own, and you need to conserve it. So you have all of these factors in play. And I found that I was really pushed to make the most out of every single item that I had in my inventory to get through the boss, and it was awesome. Just like having to work out the right strategy for dropping an item and being like, okay, I only have X many of these left. How do I make them last the entire fight? Like, that was awesome. And it was because the game was hard that I didn't have the choice of hoarding. I had to use them.
Yeah, and like when I started getting into really using consumables and realized fuck, this is fun, was when I started getting into developing my efficiency at Bloodborne and realizing bolt paper and fire paper are really fucking good. You can toast through Vicar Amelia with a fire paper, and it's
oh yeah,
that's a necessity. And I had never used one before until I was looking up speedrun strats. And that's part of why I'm thinking of this, because yeah, there's games where you've got that consumable item, but then, I'm going to talk about it, I'm going to bring it up. Ghost of Tsushima, in Legends, everything is a cooldown. And you use it, and then it just is inactive for a while. Divinity Original Sin. Like, yes, you can find scrolls, which let you are a consumable one-time use thing, but those scrolls can be created if you can actually use that ability. So the scrolls really only just let you cast abilities from different classes. So you can be using them again. And then, like, I know not a lot of people liked the game. I played a lot of it. Diablo 3, instead of having individual potions, which took up belt slots and had different values and whatnot, Diablo 3 just had your potion on a cooldown that did a percentage of your max health instead
Wasn't
of
that after launch though?
stagnant number. Nope, no. At launch, you had a cooldown potion.
Okay, cool.
Yep, and that's what I was thinking. Like, you miss so much fun stuff in a game because you're scared to use it because you don't know. And games are about having fun. Much as like we kind of joke and meme about like me saying there's only one way to play a game, like whatever you want to do that's fun, like blowing shit up with a grenade launcher is fucking dope.
Yeah,
And
but like I don't know if you can combat this if it's
no,
like
this is my thought.
yeah.
Because I talked to Aaron a bit about it, and I said because I'm also a big fan of accessibility in games. My thought was if a game has different difficulties, which a lot do, you know, you got your easy, medium, hard, ultra hard, nightmare, stuff like that. On every difficulty up till normal, it's a cooldown. All of those cool things have a resettable cooldown, like in tabletop, how you take a long rest and you get all your abilities back. Something similar to that in the game, so that then you can learn how the mechanics of these things. Because if you're so scared of using your ultimate because you might need it later, you're never going to learn how to use it well and when the best situation is. So if you don't have to ever worry about not having it active, like, give it a shot. And then if you want to go and actually play the challenge, you play the game again, but it is a consumable. That way it still encourages players to learn and use it and have fun, but then the players who want that challenge can just say, okay, well, I'm going to play ultra hard and I have to conserve, but I know when to conserve for because I've already had all the fun learning how to use it. Because like Resident Evil is one of those games where ammo conservation is crucial, but there's so many guns in at least the older ones, which they're remaking, and you know, 1, 2, 3, 4 is a remake eventually, and then we're gonna have Resident Evil Racism again. Sorry, 5.
It's gonna be so weird if 4 gets remade because the newest ones are modeled after 4. Like that is the template that the remakes are following.
They're already remaking 4, so.
Are they?
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
it was leaked through Capcom's shit.
Oh,
But,
I'm kind of
like,
disappointed about
and
that.
the reason I bring this up is because like watching Lexi play, it's like, yeah, we meme on her to like use the rocket, but also like all the stress of Resident Evil and survival horror comes from scarcity, because you don't always have a green herb and you have to decide, okay, do I heal now with my green herb or do I save it to combine it with a red and a yellow? Like, that's a huge part of the game. So I'm not saying this will work for everything, but a lot of games I think would benefit from this. I guess it's kind of like a tutorial system. You turn the easy modes of the game into tutorial, because if somebody played the game just for the story and the experience, yeah, let them have it everything. Encourage them to use everything. Have some fun. Like, use rocket launchers the whole time. It doesn't matter. You're just trying to get through the game to get a story anyway. Then when you want the challenge and play the harder difficulties, yeah, like, you know, add some restrictions.
You see, I'm glad you added in the stuff that it's not working for like every game, because like I think survival horror, and I know you're shitting on Lexi for Resident Evil, but I think that's a game where like you get rid of the survival and kind of the horror if you're just throwing everything at them. That's just destroying that game.
I feel like at its core, this is a psychological thing that like is baked into the gamer mindset of like you sit down and you're like, I'm gonna beat this experience over the course of 12 or 14 hours. Oh, this seems really useful. Well, I don't want to get rid of it because I don't know when I'm going to get more. And I feel like any ways to mitigate this problem kind of runs into the issue of like holding the player's hand too much. Like if anything, like there's a certain sort of player autonomy in the sense of like deciding to hoard and stick with the shitty option because you're aware that you're aware that you're sticking with the stupid starter pistol or you're sticking with the basic melee weapon, but that's your choice. And that is, it's hard to say like that's the wrong choice because, you're making it. One thing that comes to mind when you talk about like the differences between like an easy mode and like a harder mode where you like everything resources are limited and you have to keep that in mind is like the way that Fallout and New Vegas especially worked in their inventory management system, where in the survival mode, everything like started weighing you down, including stim packs, including ammo. And so all of a sudden, there was a barrier on how much resources you could hoard, at least the resources that really mattered, because you need them and they're taking up space in your bag. So what are you going to pick? Are you going to pick the 12 rockets or the 60 stim packs? That's to a point in the
That's
game.
a good.
Yeah.
If you were Bruce, you would pick the rockets.
Hey man, those rockets are awesome.
And then I'd use them, and then I'd go pick up the stim packs again.
Yes. Like I think that's like one of the only ways that I can think about giving that player control over the settings of being like, do I want to like scrounge for space and resources, or do I just want to like not care and just collect and hoard things because it's fun? Like a weight system, I think, fits for that, but
yeah, I was thinking also like the weight system. I think is a quite a good idea for resource management. I'm so though looking like, is there a way that we could show people that content they're kind of missing out on? Because yeah, they're choosing not to do it, but it's like they're choosing not to do it because they're scared of not having it later. So they're missing a huge part of the game, and it's like and the only reason that we all do it is because we see that number there, that number beside it that says 1. We're like, well, I can't not have 1. Who knows when I'll need that 1? And so if it was instead a timer, a cooldown timer.
I would argue that if what you're saying is an important part of the game, then the game has some serious flaws in it. Because if it's not engaging, even with the basic equipment that you have, and the fun part is in managing the stuff that you can't have forever, then I think there's the issue there. I'm reminded of Doom Eternal, where people were saying that ammo is too scarce, but the point of that game was to conserve ammo. The point was to use what you had to get more, to keep going back into the loop. And that was a game that Doom Eternal specifically is the one that I'm thinking of. Where like, you couldn't hoard onto everything, but then people complained because that's not what they enjoyed about the franchise. They enjoy picking up with their favorite gun and just getting to like stomp all over people. And like if they're missing out on something fun, the developers I think are making an error by making that, resource limited. Like you shouldn't have to pay the toll to have the fun,
No, that's quite a good point. Yeah, I guess it comes down to like tutorial of, hey, this is a useful mechanic that you should learn because it'll come in handy later, versus, well, I'm not going to use this because it will come in handy later. Like there is no winning with it really, because you have to experiment to learn that it's good and when to use it, but you're scared to experiment to learn when it's good because it's good.
I'd say the best option would be to put in a mode like after you beat the game regularly, just have an option to just turn on unlimited items. That way you play the game how it was intended, and then you can fuck around and experiment with shit afterwards.
How many people
Are you saying we need to
go through
add
the
cheat
game
codes back to
twice.
video games?
Yes,
Yeah.
actually, yes.
Yeah.
Cheat code should be back in video games.
Yes, I miss cheat codes
Fucking
too. But
unlimited ammo, let's go.
If any Zoomers are watching this, they won't know what that is.
oh man, back in the day, we used to have what was it, Cheat CC, and you'd go on there and you'd look up whatever cheat codes are for the game you're playing, and then you sit there and you're just mashing buttons at the start menu because you're like, how is that working? And you get it wrong every
No,
time.
I only used game FAQs.
Oh, game facts. There was a show on G4 TV, wasn't it? That was like all about cheat
Holy
codes.
shit.
Was
Probably.
there?
Yeah, there was.
Um,
I remember they did a series on like Beyond Good and Evil, and I remember that cheat TV show.
There'd probably be like X-Play.
It was on the same network as X-Play, but
I'm sure it wasn't just like a segment of like X-Play.
no, because it's
classic.
called Cheat.
Of course it is.
I liked Reviews on the Run.
The classic cheat codes are the unlimited ammo in Resident Evil, so then you can just use the rocket launcher. The flying in GTA San Andreas, because you could literally just fly like Superman. And the unlock all songs in Guitar Hero, because nobody's got time for that bullshit.
I think tons of people had time for that.
Oh, and the perfect balance in Tony Hawk, so then you never had to worry about missing a manual.
You sound like a little bitch. Imagine not being
That's
good
the
at
point of
manuals.
cheat codes. Fuck you.
Yeah. No,
You
I
have
use,
6.
no, I use game facts to figure out romance guides for
6,
Bioware
you
NPCs.
Imagine facing your friend and you just have fucking unlimited balance and you just beat them because you're fucking
No,
shit at the
I
game.
didn't own Tony Hawk. My friend did, and he had the cheat code, and we used it to.
Your friend is a little bitch.
We
No,
were
no.
6.
I don't give a fuck. You know what? I'm
Let them-
gatekeeping Tony Hawk. Fuck
Oh,
you.
God. Oh, you guys are gonna be the death of each other, and I'm gonna sit here holding the record button.
But I'm recording.
Yes, I'm holding the proverbial record button.
Okay. I'll accept
You know.
that.
He must be using Snapchat, because only on Snapchat you have to hold it.
I'm holding the proverbial record button while I'm looking at our proverbial YouTube channel because I don't manage either. I don't manage shit.
Yeah, Brayden's just here.
I'm just here, guys.
I'm sorry.
His opinions are too good to not have him.
Kim, get the fuck out of here.
Yay!
Kim, get the fuck out of here.
Bruce, do you have any fond memories of resource management, or like the time you hoarded 50 nukes to fight the final boss who needed one? No, in Breath of the Wild, that you did not do the thing where you saved for hours before you could fight Ganon. You just walked.
Yeah,
in
he just
there.
went in there.
Yeah.
He did the opposite of resource management.
I mean,
I think like 2 pages full of weapons, and then the Master Sword, and I didn't even break the charge on the Master Sword by the time the fight was over.
yeah. I'm sure, like, hoarding. In Final Fantasy games, I never use consumables. Like, I'll use potions and Phoenix Downs. But that's
God,
it.
I'm the same.
not-
Fuck.
Like, and
Same.
as soon
This
as
is
you
not
get
this
there's
is not a unique phenomenon.
I know.
No. But remember distinctly. I played Final Fantasy 3, the remake for DS.
Mm.
And I was like, oh man, I'm going to make one of my people spec into a ninja. It's going to be so dope. So the thing about the ninja, the only reason they're good is because they have a throw ability where they take an item from your inventory and they throw it and you lose it forever. But
You
it does
refuse to
huge
fucking
damage.
throw
And-
anything.
No, listen. And there's a weapon in the game called a shuriken, and its literally only use is to be thrown by the ninja, and you'll do 9,999 damage. And that's the final like gauntlet is so fucking hard in that game. There's like 10 bosses, and there's no save points between them. And I got to Dark Cloud, the final boss of the entire thing. and I had a ninja, and I refused to throw any of my shurikens. I was on the last boss, the literal last boss in the game. I was like, I can't throw a shuriken. I won't have it later.
Yeah.
And I got every ultimate weapon in the game. And I had so many ultimate weapons. I had ultimate weapons that were shit. I was never going to use them. They were fucking trash. Get them out of my sight. I didn't throw them either because they had cool names. I'll never have it again. I can't do this. Literally the last boss of a game. And I refused get rid of consumable items whose whole purpose was to do massive damage on the last boss.
I really hope you
And
died.
I've never played that again. I died to the Dark Cloud.
Yeah, you
and
died,
never
realized I have to
came
fight
on
10
that.
bosses again, and then quit.
Yeah. But that, if anything,
So,
gets more punishing
that's-
because now once you know that if you die, you have to go all the way back, then you're like, I don't want to use my items because the next go round I might need them or such. I think that's more of a problem with Dark Souls than anything because like games with save points, you just use whatever you got and blitz it.
I knew what I was getting into. I knew that the final gauntlet was one of the hardest in like classic RPGs. And I like grinded, I got everything, like I made sure I had every like ability to get shuriken, I had every ultimate weapon, my team was high level, so much diamond armor, like everybody had a ribbon. I just wouldn't throw the fucking shurikens, man.
If you had 4 ninjas and thrown like fucking 3 shurikens each, you probably would have beaten that in like 2 minutes.
I like to imagine Bruce's cursor
man.
hovering over the throw button, the ninja staring and just like summoning the willpower and then just being like, no, I can't do it. I need it.
Yeah, and so here's the thing, kids. Don't play a ninja if you can't throw your weapons.
Don't be a ninja if you can't let
They
go.
looked cool.
Imagine
They
like
looked
Bruce
really
fucking
cool.
playing basketball. It's like, I can't throw the ball, I only have one of it. I can't get rid of it. What if I never get it back again?
That's why I had a very low average points per game when I played ball.
Yeah, you just didn't want to let go of the ball. Oh man, this has been happening recently in computer RPGs, but they've been adding specifically like the ones that Obsidian does because they're the most infamous for it. They have a stash that's like bottomless, and thus you could just put shit in there and just like keep collecting over the course of the game. I will never throw anything out of those games. I will reach the end and just sort through just tabs of pages, and I'm like, broken sword. Why do I have this?
That is literally me in Skyrim.
Yeah, like, well, Skyrim at least has the weight system, but it's pretty easy to break it. Jeez, yeah.
You know why I need to hoard everything?
Why?
Because there was a time playing Dark Souls 3, I got very sell happy. I was like, fuck hoarding. I'm just gonna, if I'm not wearing it, I'm selling it. And I got what is apparently a very rare drop of one of the best weapons in the game, the Lothric Knight Straight Sword. And I was like, why am I going to use this? Sell. And then later in the day, Brayden's like, oh man, like the Lothric sword, it's so good, but like it's so hard to get. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, well, it's like one of the best weapons in the game, like for a quality or a dex build. And I'm like, what? He's like, yeah. I was like, I sold 2 of those earlier today. He's like, what? I said, like, gotta save everything.
I got you back though. I was able to farm all the Dark Wraith stuff off those mobs while you were left with nothing.
Yeah. I've never seen a dark sword in any Souls game.
I'm gonna make you watch as I get one. Or you know what? I'm gonna grind in the background, and then when we next play, you'll be like, hang on, what is that? What is that? And I'm gonna be running around with the Dark Sword here and there. It's gonna be awesome.
I'm not giving you any more embers.
I don't need
My
them because I'm
embers
good
with
at the
interest.
game. Damn it! You know I can't pay that back. This is how they get you. This is how they get you.
Game stonked.
Oh, damn it.
Game stonked.
I can't believe I've been short stonked by GameStop. All right. Well,
All right, who's got something poignant to say?
I have something. Speaking of Dark Souls,
Is it poignant?
it's It's topical because
Okay.
I say it is. Um,
I think anything can be
So-
topical if you say it is.
exactly. Because Bruce and I have been playing Dark Souls 3, and to facilitate this in the first place, I went and signed up for PlayStation Plus. Do you remember back in the olden days when internet access on consoles was a given, or was just dependent upon your ability to set it up in the first place, when memberships weren't a thing? I don't, because ever since the 360, and just really the Xbox, Microsoft has owned that shit in terms of charging a subscription service.
But Microsoft also like Xbox Live. Yeah, you always have to
Started
pay
it.
for it, but
Yeah.
it's also the first time that like you could have like matchmaking on console.
Totally.
Yes.
It's more of a question of like, as I'm looking at this now, and so Xbox was the one that really started it off. Xbox Live, you pay for Xbox Live, you get access to matchmaking, and that's cool because you can play the great Xbox exclusives like Halo,
Forza.
Halo 2.
Gears.
too, exactly. Oof. I don't know about Gears, man.
Hey, it used to be good.
No, the Gears 3 multiplayer I actually did sink a fair amount of time into. Anyway, and PlayStation now has PlayStation Plus, which is their subscription service, and with it you pay to access all of your online games, and you also get free games, once a month. Nintendo has their own online membership now that I'm subbed into on the Switch. Only reason for that was because Grace wanted to visit other Animal Crossing islands. The point I'm trying to get at here
I
is
would also
that-
like to point out, I not only did Grace berate you until you paid for it, I
berated
berated
you.
you until you paid for it.
Oh,
Yeah.
weren't you peer pressured into getting one as well?
No, I had it. I've had it
Okay.
since you and I lived together, and I got the Switch.
Right. No, it's
but
more of me
I-
needing the
I
extra
had
push.
FOMO with Animal Crossing, and I was like,
Mhm.
oh man, so I got it, and I haven't played it since like June, but like, then I was like, oh Brayden, if you get online, we can play Animal Crossing together. Just fucking do it. And then finally he did.
Yeah.
And now
Anyway.
you don't play it.
Yes. Because I moved on to Stardew Valley, and my wife there.
Amazing
So-
game.
Yes. I want to talk about the way that consoles work in the online space, and specifically this generation coming up of PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series 1X and whatever Nintendo is doing. Because the biggest games in the world right now are multi-platform. The biggest games are Call of Duty, Warzone, Fortnite, Among Us, and a whole bunch of others. And a lot of these games are also available for mobile devices. So, how do you justify a subscription service to access these games that are out there in the wild beyond and are already available without having to pay for any of that? Yes, Bruce.
I don't know if it's all, but I think it's all. If a game is free to play and is an online multiplayer game, a la Fortnite, especially Fortnite, you don't need to have the premium online. Like
That's the thing,
you
is that a
don't
lot of
have
them
to
run
have
their own.
PS Plus or a Nintendo Switch Online in order to play Fortnite online.
I think
Totally.
they changed
They
that.
basically, yeah. No, I looked into this.
I'm pretty sure I saw someone
couple
bitching the other
weeks
day
ago.
saying that they couldn't play Fortnite anymore.
Oh my god, they just changed it then. That's so potentially.
I'm not
that's
sure,
what
though.
you
Let me-
can do.
I will fact check.
List of whether or not it's a question of how does this multiplayer service work when more people than ever before are getting access to gaming devices not on their computers but on their phones, or how do you take that stable of games that a console has and you make it worth it? So what are the pros to each of these? I would argue, based on just a basic look at this, I like PlayStation's way of doing it. The 2 games a month are pretty cool. There are rumors that Microsoft is planning to fold in Xbox Live into a Game Pass membership, which would
They're
be
doing it.
game changing. That would be so crazy if that went through.
There's controversy about it because they're
Bring the price, of
people
course.
don't want to change, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, people don't want to change, and they are basically they removed the ability to renew your Xbox Gold sub, and you had to get Game Pass, and then so many people freaked the fuck out about it, and they were like, "Well, we'll grandfather you in, but you can no longer like."
Once
Well,
you're
well,
up
that
in
one
the
was
subscription,
stupid
you're
because
up.
they were making
Nope.
it that 6 months costed the same as a year previously.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were trying to force people to get Game Pass instead because that's where they see the future going.
And I think
So,
I think they're right on that front.
I don't have an opinion on that yet because there's so much nuance to it. But you asked for the pros and cons. I don't think there's any pros on console as it is to this. Game Pass would be a pro if it was like the only way, but the PC standard is so much better.
Well,
Like,
to be
Yes.
fair, I'm not asking for pros and cons because I think we can all agree
Oh.
that this is a dying model. This is one of the things that will be the death knell for consoles going in the future because eventually this will just get to the point where people don't want to deal with it anymore. I guess my question is, how do you justify it in the now? Like, what services are worth a subscription fee for you to maintain that? Like, because previously we thought that playing online was this big expensive thing, and it really isn't. It really is not that expensive to host you, to get you into an online game, and to like connect to your internet. So, where exactly does the value come in? Like, what service actually is worth it?
I would say
None.
None, but like which is
I think
the most worthwhile?
None.
The most worthwhile is having access to something like Game Pass. If Sony had something where like all their first party games were available to you so long as you were paying that monthly sub, great. But on top of that, I would want like a VPN on my PlayStation and top of the line security, which is Sony's antithesis. If I'm paying X amount per month or year, there's no reason that my data should go into anybody's hands. Like, if I'm paying you, I expect my data to be private, safe, always available to me so I know what's being put out, and never sold. If you are collecting my data and I am paying you already for a service that you are then collecting my data from, you have no reason to sell it. And if you do, you are double. I'm out.
Yeah, but Bruce,
At least
come
in
on.
my ideal scenario.
PlayStation has you covered as far as security goes. They ask for a password, don't they?
They implemented two-factor, so everything's safe now.
So all secure, vault locked up. Yeah, no, it is a stupid
The fact
gamble.
that like Sony seems to get like hacked and lose so much credit card information every year, plus they don't allow you to delete old accounts, is part of that bullshit. Like, if you've made a Sony account, a PlayStation account, you can't delete it. It just exists forever. That's not safe.
Yeah, no,
It's
if
just
I
not
was,
safe.
yeah, no, I
It's
agree
just
with you.
not
Like, there's gotta be like, there's no. I think the idea of like a console VPN would be really interesting because hypothetically you could just bake that into the console from day one and just like have it
Yeah.
and be able to set your server to wherever. That would be nice. I think the issue is that how do you handle multi-platform apps then? Because Netflix doesn't want you to use a VPN. And
Here's the thing.
a lot of
I don't
consoles now
care
are.
if you want me to use a VPN or not.
Yeah.
VPNs are a necessity in this information age. And I don't care if a producer doesn't want me to use a VPN because they want to harvest my data. That's using loopholes in a lot of the constitutions and Bill of Rights of the countries they're operating in. that's our fault for not legislating. I think VPNs need to be standard, and like once I have, a little more income, not it more income, but a little more money saved, like I'm absolutely getting a VPN because shit's crazy, man. Like we've all had that moment where you're talking with like, or your friend brings something up and is like, "Oh, this was really cool," and then you see a phone ad for it, right? Like there's something there, right? Like I think a
Yeah.
VPN built into a console game change. Well, not built into the console, but built into the subscription, like the sub
Yeah.
fee. I'd be so in.
Yeah, no, I agree. That would be very helpful given that
Yeah.
right now yeah, there's not a lot of reason to be signed into any of those services. Oh,
The only reason to charge people for online is because you're guaranteeing them a higher rate of security. And that's not happening right now. Nintendo's online, Switch Online, fucking trash. PSN, fucking trash. Xbox Live, that's the gold standard.
Hmm.
I did there.
Shut the fuck
Because
up,
I said
Bruce.
gold. Because
Okay,
it's
shit. No,
Xbox
we
Live
got
Gold.
it. We got it. Stop talking.
Yeah. Yeah.
Also, I did fact checking. You need Xbox Live Gold to play Fortnite. Otherwise, Fortnite you can play everywhere else without a subscription.
Yeah, but Xbox has always been
Okay,
shitty for
Xbox
that.
Yeah,
is
no.
no longer the gold. No longer the gold standard. I take that back.
Do you remember when Coldstream was a thing for Left 4 Dead, and everyone else got the maps for free, but Microsoft wanted them to pay for it?
Good times.
Oh, jeez.
Horse armor.
Yeah. 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 Lots of fun stuff happening over in Windowsville.
And like now, like you bringing this up makes me really wish that console online so much better. Cause like
It
you
should
guys
be.
play PC. It's so easy just to like people just create servers anyway. They're like, "Oh, my favorite MMO is shutting down. Well, I'll just host a server then." And then it lives on for like 10 more years.
And I think it
Could
wouldn't
you
be as
imagine
big an
trying to do
issue.
that?
I think it wouldn't be as
Sony
big
would
an
shit
issue
all
if
over
we
you.
weren't in the age where virtually none of the exclusives that we talk about for any particular console are the world's biggest game. Like it just doesn't exist. As far as anybody's concerned, if you're a console exclusive, you are not a big player in terms of the online marketplace. Like I'm thinking back to like Red Dead. Like Red Dead Online, huge. Probably was a big reason why it was multi-platform at release. You know, versus something like Ghost of Tsushima, which is a first-party exclusive. The multiplayer is fun, but not huge. Why? Because it naturally has a smaller consumer base.
Yeah.
It's all fun shit.
The weird thing to me is like we're in a blossoming age of multi-platform um online games, right? So like Rocket League was the big first one, I'd say, where like you like Rocket League on all the consoles you could just play. That was amazing. Call of Duty, I think Warzone did it. I think Fortnite did or
Fortnite did it.
PUBG did it.
Fuck PUBG.
Like I think it's great. And the fact now that you're playing these like shitty online servers on console against the PC master race, it's like give people a reason to pay that much money when they're now talking and playing with people who just get it. Like nowadays the PC tax isn't that bad. Like, oh, you have to go find drivers. Just fucking open Reddit and somebody's going to have a list of them right there. Like use DuckDuckGo and just look up whatever drivers you need. Like there's no like the PC tax of being harder to use and maintain isn't really a thing anymore. So
No, like you can
why
go
are
out
we
and buy like a
getting
fucking
into
pre-built
those?
gaming PC and just
Yeah.
you're set. It's
Yeah.
no different than buying a console
Like,
at
you
this
don't
point.
need a 3090.
Yes, you do.
Everybody needs a 3090. I know.
Exactly.
Actually,
3090.
everybody needs two.
So you can sell the other one.
No, so you can use both and have the best wank physics ever. I don't know. Think of how good Dead or Alive Extreme Beach Volleyball 2 would look with two 3090s.
I don't play that.
But you'd start.
No, I wouldn't.
I know where Bruce is
Give
getting
Alvin two 3090s and a copy of Dead or Alive Extreme Beach Volleyball 2. You'll
He's
never
dead.
see that man again.
You'll never see him again.
You'll never see that man again.
He'll run off into the hills screaming for joy. He'll never come back. From
He
them
would
there.
play different games than that one. There's a
What?
wide variety of hentai games he would play over that.
It's not porn. Okay.
You
But
not
he
know
only
what
plays
Extreme
porn
Beach
games.
Volleyball 2
It's
is?
extreme
I-
beach volleyball.
I know what it is, but Bruce said Alvin. Alvin plays
The
hentai
game exists
games.
for jiggle. Yeah, the game is a hentai game. It exists for jiggle physics.
It
No.
is a you cannot find a better simulator of the beach volleyball experience. Point to me another game where I can engage in volleyball, ski-doo racing, the bump
Swimsuit
bump
modeling.
game. Exactly. Point to me the better lifestyle simulator.
I'll find you one.
Thank
Not
you.
not now, but I will
And
find
you
you
know what?
one.
Have my Shiranui? It doesn't have my Shiranui.
The checkmate games industry.
Yeah,
Best
that got
video
off
game.
topic.
Yeah, we got very off topic.
That's fine.
Yeah.
That's what we do here.
Do we have any closing thoughts on how much we all hate console online?
Bruce, I'm gonna be honest with you. While we were talking about VPN, and you started talking about like the idea of like a console VPN, I'm like, huh. I have a VPN. Why is it turned off on my computer? So I went to quickly turn it back on, and then I'm like, hang on, I should probably check if this VPN that I'm using is legit. I go and look up online. It is not legit. So I'm like busily uninstalling my VPN from. So that was the adventure that I just embarked on while we were chatting.
You got fished.
I did get fished. I got lured in by the cute little advertising. I was using Hola.
I'm sorry, did you say you didn't get fished and then proceed to describe what you did as being lured?
Yes.
It had this cute little thing, and it made me think this is a great product.
Yes.
That's you got fished.
There's a little squiggly lure coming around me.
What is this, I wonder? Yeah. Pro tip for everyone. Apparently, Hola VPN is a peer-to-peer VPN and not just a regular VPN. Who should have done that before they paid for it 3 years ago? I did.
That's why you need to use NordVPN, the safest.
Bruce, they're not sponsoring us. Shut the fuck up. We don't throw out free sponsors.
Yeah, no free sponsors.
Go
man.
to NordVPN.
No, shut up. Bruce, shut the fuck up.
Code Dialog.
Yeah. Go use that code and get nothing for it.
This is a genius play because if enough people start doing it, then NordVPN's going to be like, "Hey, did we miss a promotion? Oh, we got to throw this in the system."
You use code Dialog Trees for 0% off your purchase.
Plus tax.
Once
Plus tax.
NordVPN/dialogue and use code dialogue.
Like, do you ever
One of
think
these
that
is
like
going to work. I swear to God.
I know, like one of these, like, should we just use somebody else's discount code, like Skill Up? Like, oh yeah, that's us.
You know, the first 10 viewers to click the link below will get a free 1-month trial to Skillshare Premium, so they can learn how to code a VPN.
Jesus Christ. Oh man, You guys are ridiculous.
I hope this
Oh,
video
shit.
gets taken down.
Sorry, I gotta get back to my champions. I'm playing Raid Shadow Legends.
I was actually contemplating downloading that game. Like, after seeing so many ads, I'm like, you know what? They put out so many ads, it has to be good. There has to be something good about this game.
I find that game's advertising.
Have you heard
insidious.
of Arc Knights?
Oh god, Arc
No,
Knights
I haven't.
And AFK Arena. Just mobile game advertisements are such cancer. They're so bad.
Yeah.
What is the worst mobile game advertisement you've ever seen?
Probably a Raid Shadow Legends one.
Which one though?
Okay,
Yeah. That's a hard thing to
I know
decide
there was
on.
one for Raid Shadow Legends that's like normally their advertisements go for like a cutesy like here's our champions in day-to-day scenarios, hardy har har har. There was one that was just starring a woman in elven cosplay being like, I've traveled for years to find my summoner. Could you be? And it was like, dude, that's so fucking dumb. I hate it.
Do you guys remember? Do you guys remember the one with Kate Upton where she was like a goddess and like got
Oh, yeah.
and like had this big robe? Like,
Oh my
back
god.
when like oh my god, like because Kate Upton was like
Game of War.
obviously she was fire because
Yes, Game of War.
but like
War.
because there was that gif of her doing the cat daddy, and so like she was all over, and they were like, we're gonna do this, and like I'm sorry, I don't for a second believe Kate Upton plays that game. Not because Kate Upton can't be a gamer, but because like why would she play a shit game?
Oh my god. 2015 just came knocking at my door. And I'm just like, oh my god.
Or all the ones that tried to rip off Game of Thrones when like season 5 was happening.
What are you talking about? The official Game of Thrones strategy online game? They're not ripping it off. They are the official product to get you that Game of Thrones experience.
No, everything
I
just
just
ripped
find that-
off like Game
I like-
of Thrones imagery. Everything wanted to be Daenerys.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And then the actual Game of Thrones mobile game comes out and it looks like an imitator. Oh my god, yeah. That was a cancerous time in the games industry, and still is. You remember when Clash of Clans was big?
Yeah, I was just thinking that. When like every
Those
other ad would be
advertisements-
Clash of Clans.
Still.
Like, I feel like mobile games are
Do
in
you
this
remember
unique
Boom
spot.
Beach?
Yes.
Yes. Oh my god. It's just, I think it was a thing where it's like those games spent more on marketing than literally any other part of their game because you were on YouTube.
That's literally every game,
Yeah.
though.
That's all you had to do.
Every game's marketing budget makes up more than half of the budget.
Really?
AAA games, at least 50% of the budget of a AAA game goes to marketing.
God damn. I just feel it's so much more prominent when it comes to mobile games. But maybe that's because they're in our face all the time. Like they're on YouTube and they're on like all these little videos that we're watching throughout the day.
Well, I think because it's
Getting
also
Jeff
like
Keighley to talk about your game isn't cheap.
Yes, this is true.
the freemium nature makes it that they have so much money that they're like, let's just dump it into ads and get even more money.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
I always remember this feeling like this sickening like sense in my stomach whenever there was any online game that came out. I was kind of happy for, and then the ads started coming out for like their free to play iteration, and I'm like, oh no, this looks like shit. Look at it, you Neverwinter. I failed. I played your alpha, damn it. I should have realized that was crap from the get-go.
Man, we need Among Us ads now. Really horrible Among Us ads.
I don't think I've ever seen a single
Honestly,
advertisement for the game that's not.
Other people.
I
Yeah.
was gonna say, here's the thing: like, enough people post Among Us VODs and videos that like
Oh, yeah, their
they
advertisements
don't
already
have
there.
to pay for ads.
But like
Totally.
that
Like,
that game
people
probably could have been big in the
watch that
beginning
shit
if
by
they
choice.
if they got ads.
it's a revolutionary concept. You advertise the game by getting people to like and play the game. Like, what the hell?
Take notes, Nintendo.
How do you...
Are you telling me Kate Upton
Yeah,
did not like
write this down.
Game of War?
I don't want to see your next Smash.
I can say I'm sure
I'm sure that
at
there's
least
a prototype that impressed her. I don't know.
at least half the people who advertise like these mobile games haven't played it.
Do
This
you think,
is, you
do you
can
think
call this
Ozzy
clout
played
chasing
World of
if you
Warcraft?
want. Yes, Ozzy did play World of Warcraft.
Good to know. What about Mr. T?
You like this can be called out for clout chasing, but like Cutie Cinderella, she's a fairly prominent streamer. Literally, when a commercial of her doing an ad read for like AFK Arena or something came out, she watched it on stream and then talked about how like the behind the scenes of it was and how she's like, yeah, I've never played this game. She's like, I don't know what this character does. It was cute. I don't know what this thing I just said means. Like, I don't understand any of this, but I got a paycheck. It's like, yeah, that's literally everybody in these commercials.
Do you think these
Like,
mobile
good on you,
developers
Cutie.
know that their game is shit?
Oh my god, look at this hero. Question, because when you're so bound up in the project, it's hard for a lot of people to be able to distance themselves. I feel like there is a certain point where you're like, yes, the business practice that I'm working on might be scummy, but it's easy enough to kind of like justify that to yourself.
Because money.
Did the guy who made Hunt Down the Freeman know his game was shit?
Yeah. Well, so today I read this article, and I'm just going to repeat it verbatim because that's the level of integrity and journalism that we're bringing you on the Dialog Trees podcast. I read this article talking about the Amazon Game Studios, and
Oh God.
it was talking about how the studio has been working for 6 years to produce the ultra blockbuster billion-dollar hit that they were looking for when they entered the industry. They have yet to do it, and the employees that they talked to were like, yeah, no, I'm aware that we're never making it. I just want to keep my job. Because at the end of the day, that's really what you're concerned most about. If you're a developer, you're not a greedy son of a bitch. You just want to keep your job. And that's a very dicey proposition these days. So, fuck it. I won't tell you that the game is broken or raise my objections and say, hey, you can't ship it in this state because, I mean, you want to feed yourself and your family, don't you? Like, I feel like you can't give developers too much shit for being greedy. Publishers, absolutely.
My favorite tweet after seeing like all that Amazon stuff was someone saying, "Oh my God, Amazon didn't realize to get $1 billion franchise you had to spend money on it." 'Cause they gave no money to their fucking game industry. Not really.
Oh, they cut it. They cut corners, but they put money elsewhere. They put money into their own engine. They built an engine called Lumberyard that they insist all their games have to be built with. They don't just use what's already out there.
Yeah, apparently, I read that interview. Like all the devs would like play video games while I was trying to render stuff because it takes so fucking long to render. It's pretty much like Bruce
was talking about New World, which
Are they using my laptop? Jesus.
I've been following New World for a while, around the same time that Amazon Game Studios first pitched it, because I thought the idea was interesting. It was coming out at a time when survival MMOs were big. Now I'm looking back on it and going, wow, how could you have not seen the warning signs on this project from a mile away? It's literally about colonizing the New World. You know, that thing that we all agreed was kind of a yikes move, my dog. Like, I think we as a species can generally look back on that and saying, not our best moment.
Is it sad that I actually thought like Amazon Game Studios would like produce something good?
No, it's not sad. It's what
you.
you'd expect when you have that much clout and infamy. But like, you know, when you look behind the scenes and realize the company really did not understand how video games are made.
Yeah,
You know?
like I heard the announcement, like they have so much money, like they could build anything, and they just didn't use the money.
Dude,
Well, if you hire a bunch of experts,
I have no faith in anything Amazon does.
yeah,
We know you hate
Like,
Amazon, Bruce.
Do you guys know Amazon Basics? What they do is they just like they find what the most popular item in a genre or category is. They say, okay, we're gonna sell a bunch of these. Now we're gonna undercut you using your own design, but slap Amazon Basics on it. Do I really think they could make a video game that's good? No, they're like they would make like a ripoff of Genshin Impact, which is a ripoff of Breath of the Wild.
you ditched Genshin Impact. That game is a treasure for a lot of people. I would argue that it's actually eclipsed
I mean,
Breath
that
of the
game's got
Wild
some
in terms
thick
of
eyes.
it does, and it's a very successful Chinese product, which I think is like part of the success was that it was originally a Western import, not a Western import, it was a Chinese import.
Eastern
Anyway, fuck it. The terms are confusing if we're not defining who exactly we're talking from the perspective of. Anyway, I totally get what you mean. Like, I feel like when you go ahead and you enter into the games industry and you hire all these video game professionals and you get all of these people that have worked on really good projects before, that's great. But you gotta be understanding that this is a shitty industry at the best of times.
Well, you should probably also listen to your devs when they're like, hey, we should like use Unreal Engine 4 instead of be like, nah, we're gonna develop our own. We got this.
No billion-dollar franchise comes fully baked out of the womb, as it were, as a billion-dollar franchise. They're all pretty much just accidents that formed as a result of, something else coming about. Call of Duty 4 makes the game faster, and the multiplayer all of a sudden sells like hotcakes. They include the drone, so people are excited about kill streaks.
You can't just say, hey, we're gonna develop this mech game called Anthem, and it's gonna be the biggest thing ever. You can't just do that. You can't just proclaim it's gonna be a billion-dollar franchise with a 10-year path.
I saw the announcement for that. I'm like, this is gonna be like absolute dog shit.
You totally can declare it. It's just, it's not a great idea. Oh man, Anthem I feel like could have been so much better if they had just allowed the developers to play Destiny and like come back and just make their own Destiny instead of being like, no, our game has nothing to do with Destiny. Now do what Destiny did.
I think that game should have been like completely single player and not cut most of its RPG elements.
But in that case, you're not talking about Anthem. Like, Anthem I don't think was ever started as a single player property.
Yeah, but it should have been.
Yeah.
It should have been. Because that's what you get when you buy a famous single player RPG studio. They don't just turn around and make the Destiny killer because you ask them to. Like, they're good at the thing you do.
They also proclaim like the same story levels of like Mass Effect would be in Anthem, and that just was not the case at all.
Yeah. Hey, when's Anthem 2.0 gonna come out? Destiny has a story. People like it enough that they like the characters.
I said Anthem.
Oh, Anthem?
Probably, maybe.
Yeah.
Also,
the real story of Anthem is where Anthem 2.0 is going.
Destiny's story to me...
Is it an ARG?
Shut the fuck up, Bruce. Destiny's story to me is just running around slaughtering different races because I like skip every cutscene and just literally run past every enemy shooting them. My friend got really mad at me for how I played the game. He just like tried to explain the story like, no, you're just going around slaughtering different races. He's like, no, that's not the fucking game. Like, but it is to me. I skipped every cutscene. Like, well, then you don't fucking know the game. Like, but I do because I played it. And no, it wasn't Bruce that did this.
He just doesn't understand your fun comes from not playing the game. It doesn't count as hidden lore if you just purposefully ignore it.
You can't ignore the story and come up with your own thing. Yes, I can. I just did it.
That's the beauty of video games.
This is what it looks like if I skip every cutscene.
Fortnite is the story of Thanos and his 12 to 13-year-old friends hanging out at an abandoned island for an hour to a time, killing each other.
I'm sorry. It's the story of John Wick escaping the Continental on an island with 12 to 13-year-old friends. And Thanos picks up the kill contract on John Wick.
Yeah, I remember a time vividly when I was watching Endgame, and I thought that the Fortnite reference in it was kind of cute. And now that I'm looking back on it, I'm just like, no, it's just these multi-billion-dollar companies like scratching each other's back.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah,
Can we
it's
talk
just
about
like-
how like
I honestly thought you were going to say scratching each other's balls. In my head, I was like, yeah, that makes sense.
My grandmother was in the room.
I can see that.
You scratch my balls, I scratch yours.
Can we talk about how Fortnite is a more ambitious crossover than Smash Ultimate is at this point?
Dude, Fortnite is... Yeah, like, there's people...
Like, you can't deny that.
It's gonna be future of, like, online content. And, like, I don't agree with them. And I think there's other companies doing some ambitious things. Like, fucking Riot is now a record label because of KDA. And also, like, some of KDA's songs kind of slap.
Yeah, I think the thing is that Fortnite isn't a revolutionary online content platform for the plebeians. It's a revolutionary content platform for people with money trying to get that money access to people that will then give them more. Like, it's all for the big
Yeah.
names. You can't...
I think it's revolutionary for kids. Like actually in the sense, because like Fortnite like holds concerts and stuff from like real artists. Like,
Yeah.
find me another
Yeah,
game
it's
that
not,
does that.
Like, is it... Look, Guitar Hero, dude.
Kids don't know what that is. Find me a
they don't.
13-year-old that knows what
Like,
Guitar Hero is.
Oh, God.
But you're talking about Guitar
like,
Hero, a
if-
game that was
if
based
PvP
around
can
that
have the
instead
meme
of
Sims-
Fortnite is like actually like hosts these things, like makes actual events out of it. It's not an entire game based around artists.
Yeah, but you don't have the access to do those things on your own in Fortnite. You can go and experience them, but you do not have the ability to throw a concert in Fortnite.
Yet.
Marshmallow can.
Yet.
No, you can't, because that's not what Epic does. Epic talks to all these big people with money and power and gets them cool new shit to do in Fortnite. They will never open up those same tools to anyone in the community, because that's just not how Fortnite works.
You're right, guys. Next episode, we're going to talk to Epic, and we're going to live stream this straight from Fortnite. Hey, I would fucking do it.
Recording exclusively inside Fortnite.
I would
Not only
100% do it.
in Fortnite, but we are in the Unfriended universe, which means that there are
damn it.
ghosts in Fortnite.
There already were
Can you
ghosts in
imagine-
Fortnite.
Can you imagine a
like, murderous
horror
ghosts.
movie about a serial killer monster program stuck inside a battle royale? Oh,
I think you just gave Bruce an
Remember that
idea.
movie Gamer? Do you remember that movie Gamer, where it was
Yeah.
like prisoners had to kill
Yeah.
each other, but they were like controlled by like kids?
Yeah.
It's like that. Only like there's a rogue program that just kills people. Oh man, like this. Oh man, this is gotta be a thing. And I don't mean like it's gotta be a movie or something. I mean like somebody to create a killer program that actually goes through and kills people.
This
I don't
video
wanna
is getting
watch this
taken down
movie.
for sure now.
yeah. We've already sounded its death knell. First we called out Epic, and now we're advocating for the deaths of people who play battle royale games.
Good job, Bruce.
I didn't say that. I didn't say that people who play battle royale games should be killed. I said that there should be a killer program released in some type of massively multiplayer online game.
That just happens to be a battle royale.
Yeah, but it could be any of them. Be Mario 35.
Ew.
A rogue Goomba.
Oh my god, a rogue Goomba that goes from people's games, killing Mario and like destroying the game forever. Like you log on
But-
to play
but if it
Mario
ever-
Odyssey.
If it ever escapes from the game into like IRL, it looks like a Goomba from the movie.
No. Why you gotta do me like that?
It's Bob
Just-
Hoskins.
Call them Koopas. They look more like Koopas.
Well,
Bruce, you're gonna have to do
I
some
think
slight
it's time
editing, just so you know.
for one last word from our sponsors before we call it a night. Don't forget, check out nord.vpn or nordvpn.com/dialogue. Use coupon code dialogue for
Work at home. And as a result, I
Something.
usually don't have a lot of time to read any books today. But with Audible, I can listen to books whenever and wherever I go. And I think that that's an amazing thing. Go to audible.com/dialogue for more information on this special promotion. What's the promotion, you ask? We don't have one.
Are we all just promoting something right now?
Yes. Well, we're promoting until you call the episode.
Hey, fuck it, I'm gonna promote something too. Tachiyomi, it's completely free, so like, you don't need to spend money on this or enter some stupid fucking code, and you just read manga on it for free. And
Have
I
you
know
ever
that's
heard of
wrnd,
corn?
but like,
Corn is amazing.
go to
The band or the food?
chatterbox.com/dialogue.
You can boil it, you can turn it, you can eat it right off the cob.
are we talking
If
about the
you-
band or the food?
I'm just talking about corn. Corn is amazing.
Corn the band or the food?
Corn. Corn.
Children of the Corn?
Yes. I'm
Just,
talking about...
just boil Brian Head Welch. Get him, slather him in some butter, and just start eating those kernels.
with
Fucking
your
John
Brussels
Davies as well.
sprouts,
Just throw him in
peas.
there.
Yes.